Yes, welcome back. Just in case you didn't catch that, fortunately, the broadcast schedule is very simple. Channels TV, DSTV 24 on Sundays at 7:30. We repeat this again on Wednesday at 12:30 on the same channel. And then Channels 24 Sky UK on Sunday at 5:30 p.m. Repeated at 12:30 p.m. on that channel. Terrestrial Channels TV Lagos, Tuesday 3:30 p.m. And Terrestrial Abuja, Wednesday 6 p.m. And then Terrestrial Benin, Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Thank you again for being on the show. I'll be back. I'm back with Dame Julie. I had to do that. People always ask, when can I see the show? So now you know, and tune in if you missed the first half. Now, the day before I left, I said, if Nigeria was better, would people be running away?
That question is very important because the people running away are not the poorest people in Nigeria. The people running away are people who have spent so much money to run away. So if they have that much money, why can't they use it in Nigeria? So poverty is not an issue here, but the issue here is sheer ignorance and lack of education, period.
How does ignorance? Ignorance about what? About
ignorance about the truth of what is going on in the destination countries, because they are made to believe there's so much work for them to do, better paid jobs and all of that, and their jobs just waiting for them. That's the level of ignorance and level of illiteracy that is pushing them out of Nigeria, not poverty.
What about the question of those that have gone, stay there and become pusher men on that side themselves? What's your agency doing about it? Like the person that we found, for example, have you arrested people, such people?
Oh, yeah. We've arrested a lot of madams, and we've arrested a lot of these pusher men. These are basically agents of traffickers, you know, more or less. And yeah, we work with intelligence, we work with information. You know, we've been able to arrest quite a number of them.
Because they remain in... So which are the dangerous countries? Morocco, Libya? Libya still remains the biggest problem?
Almost all the countries are very dangerous now. Libya, of course, most of them are actually on transit to the destination countries, which is usually Europe. So Libya, and this is where most of this trafficking, you know, takes place, you know, before they go. And that is why I'm going to advocate strongly for them to shut down all detention camps all over the world, because that is the basis for human trafficking and other related crimes.
So how much effort, how much progress have you made in that, shutting down these transit camps?
Yeah,
they call them detention camps, right?
Detention camps, or whatever they call them, or detention centers, for me, are the main reason why human trafficking thrives. Because when the irregular migrants are kept there, then those who are meant to even protect them actually release them to the traffickers, and this is where this trafficking business starts.
It's all about money.
It's all about money.
It's all about money.
It's all about money.
So I just wonder, though, do you feel frustrated sometimes that the sheer number, it seems like it's growing bigger than ever? 14 years, NAPTIP has been working, yet people are still trooping out.
Sometimes it's quite frustrating, but don't forget that NAPTIP cannot work alone. We must work with other sister law enforcement agencies who also have to collaborate with us and help us to ensure that this thing does not continue. For example, we're not at the airports. We should be at the airports, but we're not there. So we rely on those at the airports to help us, to work with us to ensure that these victims are not ferried out of the country. We rely on those at the borders as well to help us, to ensure. So we cannot do this alone. So there must be that synergy and collaboration so that we work in a more coordinated manner. And yeah, that's it.
I just wonder how you managed to get the Oba of Benin to talk to the native doctors.
I actually paid him, the Oba of Benin, a courtesy call with my team, and I pleaded with him to talk to the Juju priest, because those were the major, and those are the people who are like 80% contribute to human trafficking, in the sense that they administer oaths on the victims.
80%?
Yes, they administer oaths on the victims.
Male and female?
Male and female. And this oath is what prevents the victims from running away to their safety, from reporting to the law enforcement agencies, and from naming the traffickers. So if the Juju priests stop the practice of administering oath, then it will be very easy for us to get information with which to prosecute the offenders. You know, previously, NAPTIP had engaged all the Juju priests in Benin to partner with us, and they gave us their word that they were no longer going to administer oaths. They had no idea that this is what was happening to the girls. The madams gave them the impression that they were taking them abroad, and they didn't want them to run away after spending so much money on their tickets. So that was the impression, according to them, that the madams gave to them. So they had no idea. So now the juju priests are NAPTIP ambassadors, in the sense that if these madams take victims to them, they will report them to NAPTIP for prosecution and possible arrest. So that is where we are now. But I wanted the Oba of Benin to lend his voice, because when the Oba speaks, everyone listens. And today, as we speak, all the juju priests have been summoned to the Oba's palace for a meeting.
Okay, and that was actually an answer to a question that Fatima from Zaria sent to us as we were going on. She says, what measures have been put in place to reduce the need for human trafficking to the barest minimum? And that need means that to change the circumstances that make them live in the first place.
Yes, the truth is that most of these youths now are in a hurry to make money. The federal government has come up with all sorts of programs. We have the Young Entrepreneurs Program. We have skill acquisition programs. There's so many programs back here in Nigeria. Not everyone can work in the office. You can acquire a skill and use your skill to work. It will interest you to note that some of these victims actually had skills and left their shops, sold everything they had, and traveled because they thought they could get bigger money. I mean, if you spend as much as 500,000 naira to 1 million naira to pay the pusher men or the madams to travel, you can use that money in Nigeria and make something out of it.
Okay, now how do we convince the youths that seeking for greener pastures across the borders staying back is better an option, especially as there are not many opportunities for them there? This is Choma asking this. How do we convince them that it's better here?
First of all, the youth need what I call a national orientation and reorientation. They need to believe in Nigeria first. When you believe in Nigeria, then you believe in yourself. Most of these youths do not even believe in themselves. When they speak, there's this sense of entitlement. Let them give us space. You have to seize it by force. Nobody's going to give you space. You have to look for the space. So they have to first believe in Nigeria and believe in themselves. Then they can move forward.
Dame, that's an indictment on you politicians. If Nigerians don't believe in Nigeria today, you're a politician.
The youth do not believe in Nigeria. That is why they are rushing abroad. We believe in Nigeria, and that is why we are here working in Nigeria and working for Nigeria. So the youth have to believe in Nigeria, believe in themselves, that they can make something of themselves. It starts with them, not with me. I don't owe them anything. They owe themselves the right to become something. So they need to have that in their heart, in their minds, and that's the way forward.
You think it's going to happen in a situation where people don't feel that affinity to ethnicity? Politics is being ridden by ethnicity and religious divisions.
This is where I say we need a national orientation. We need to take away religion, we need to take away ethnicity from our politics and from our way of life in Nigeria generally. And I'm sure the federal government is going to work on that, because that is a very major factor. The federal government is definitely going to work on that. I'm sure the National Orientation Agency has been doing things like that. You know, if you watch the TV, you will see that. But they need to do more, you know, until they drive this finally to every Nigerian.
But it's only government's problem, though.
No, it's not. It's a general problem. It's the whole of society and the whole of government. So everyone must come together and, you know, dissociate themselves from this religious bias, ethnic bias and all of that, and come together. We need to see ourselves as one. So it's not a government thing. You know, it's something, it's a mindset problem. It's not a government thing, you know, really. I mean, sometimes people attribute it to, oh, the government is this, the government. I don't think so. You know, I think it's an individual
the government can do something.
Perception. Oh, definitely, the government is actually doing something about it. Yeah, to change the mindset of people and to remove. I think there was a time I read something about the vice president saying something about ethnicity and religion, that people should stop all these ethnicity and religious divisions. Yes, and that they were going to clamp down on people who engage themselves in such activities. And yeah, it started with the federal government already. They are driving the campaign, because once we get this ethnic thing, this religious thing out of the way, Nigeria is a great country and we're going places.
But do you think that if people were not hungry, you know, then this problem won't be there?
I do not agree with you and Auntie on this hunger talk. I am telling you now that most of these youths that travel pay so much money. How hungry can you be to bring 500,000 naira to 1 million naira? With that, if you give me 1 million naira, I know what I'll do with it. right now.
So
I
they're
can tell
lazy.
you what I'll do with it. They want to make money too fast. One. Number two, they are just ignorant. They just do not understand the realities of life. They think anything outside Nigeria is best. That takes me back to my number one factor. If you believe in Nigeria first, you believe in yourself, you would not think of going to be a slave in another man's country.
They often regret it, though.
Oh, yes, they do. That's the ignorance I'm talking about. That's the lack of education, lack of knowledge I'm talking about. And that is why NAPTIP has taken this fight to schools, primary schools, secondary schools, and as I speak to you, very soon, hopefully, before the next academic session, we would have it infused in the primary school and secondary school curricula, a topic in trafficking in persons.
Are you having any challenges in bringing them back? Because we hear of cases that some people want to come back, but officials are beginning to do some kind of wuru-wuru that some people come back and some don't come back.
I would say there are quite some challenges. Yes, we've been able to bring back over 2,000, but we realize
who willingly want to come back?
Almost all of them want to come back. But the truth is that I noticed that the figures started dwindling because the Libyan authorities don't want them to come back. They see them as economic tools because most of them are used for sexual exploitation. They are used to work on the farms. They are used for forced labor, factory workers, and all of that. So they really do not want them to come back.
So what are you doing about that?
But we're going to get them back. We're going to get... Federal government has made it clear. Mr. President has made it clear. No one must be left behind. Everyone must return, and we are going to bring them.
So if there are cases of people who are there, I mean, obviously you respond when you get any information about anyone.
No, we're still working because the first phase of the exercise is done. They are back. Then we're still going to go back for the second phase until every single person.
You're trying to also give them skills, and you believe that's not all. That's not enough. Just giving the people, placing these people in employment and giving them skills that will help them live.
When you give them skills and you empower them, trust me, and you educate them. Because now what is going on is these ones who are back have seen firsthand that there's nowhere like home. They saw that they were in hell and they are not ready to go back to hell. Luckily for us, we now use them as ambassadors for NAPTIP to preach the gospel to those who are thinking of going. So they go back to the communities and tell them, if you're planning to go, do not go. You'll be making a big mistake. It happened to me, and I'm telling you not to go.
Well, the good thing about it is we also spoke to some people who had returned. That's without your knowledge, though. So I'm going to share their stories next week. And as I round up, I just want to find out from you, do you work with NGOs as a matter of course?
Definitely.
Okay.
We have NGOs registered under NAPTIP, under the umbrella body called NACTAL. All those who are engaged in things like this, those who run shelters, those who rescue victims of trafficking, they work with us. We work with for us, it's all of society, all of government. It's not a government job. This job involves the whole of Nigerians, all of society, which includes NGOs, CSOs, faith-based organizations, the media like you, and everybody. Everyone is our partner.
You seem to be in your element. As a lawyer, as a human rights activist, as a politician, this is home for you.
Yes, it is.
So I hope that after this, we're going to see you in one government house or the other.
Oh, yes, you're going to see me in the government house very soon.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Back in your state, Bayelsa?
Back in my state.
Okay, she said it here first, right? So we'll be there behind you. See our 3 more years on NAPTIP and wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
And hopefully the numbers will keep dropping with the awareness.
Amen.
Thank you for being our guest.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for watching. And remember, next week, we have people who have actually come back, and it's a painful, painful thing to watch. This is not, but they're happy to be back home. We'll be back next week on Seriously Speaking. I hope you had a good time. See you next week.